Hey, so I'm doing this one unscripted. My last two videos have been scripted. I think they've gone pretty well. I was struggling to have them not scripted. I was struggling to do bullet points and key points. This one, free speech, no organization, nothing, because I am so excited about this video. This is the review for You Are a Badass by Jen Sincero. I love this book. This woman is my mother, the one I want. So I don't care how toxic that is. I don't care how crazy that sounds. This book is the exact advice, lessons, stories I would have loved to have in my preteen years. The way that Jen talks to you in this book, and even in her audiobook, which is incredible, this changed my life. So I did a review on Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Body, which also changed my life, but in a very different way. Whereas this was immediately revolutionary. Tim Ferriss's work is like a slow understanding over time of building. You go back to it and like kind of work through it. This book had an immediate effect on my life. So how I came across this book. I was at the point where I was reading constantly about my damage and where it came from and what that produces in adulthood and how I was currently organized as a person, my bad habits and my self-sabotage and low self-worth and all of the different types of abuse I went through, and it was fucking depressing. It was awful to be reading constantly about who I was and who I am, especially when I was trying to find recovery. I was trying to build. I was trying to find answers and solutions to be a better person. And as I was told and recognized that the literature telling me about how I was damaged was holding me in that thought pattern, it was suggested to me by a very good friend, maybe it's holding you in that place. And we worked out, I need to consume and collect and surround myself with literature and knowledge and advice on how to become who I want to be. So another friend recommended this book on Audible because it was being offered for free, I believe, with a sign up, your first sign up. It's one of the books that counted as free on Audible, and I immediately started listening to it in my car to and from work. And my life changed immediately. Within the first 30 days of listening to this book on audio, I completed 3 goals I had been sitting on for 13 to 15 years in a 30-day time span. I completed 2 and started 1. So I grew up with motorbikes in the culture of my family. Both my grandfathers rode motorbikes. One of my grandfathers fixed motorbikes in the war. My dad rides motorbikes. My brother rides motorbikes. And ever since I was 13, I always wanted to be a badass motorcycle chick. And unfortunately, those discussions in my household or me expressing that did not go over well. The fear was put into me that that's not a good idea. So I was discouraged, and then that discouragement from exterior sources came with me for the rest of my life until now, until this book. So I found every excuse in the world, even though I desperately wanted to be a motorcycle rider, I put it under the rug. I don't have enough money. There's not a good time for that. I'm about to be a mom. It's not good to do it in the city, or it's super dangerous, or I don't have the money to buy all the gear as well as the bike as well, and like taking the course and practicing. Like, although I wanted it, all I did was make excuses as to why I couldn't have it. And finally listening to this book on audio, mind you, twice in a row, I signed up to take my test. I signed up for a course. I put the money aside. I set a date. I set a time. I committed. I did it. and I completed it. And I got my full road license, not my full, like my learner's road license within, I think just a couple weeks. I like set it up, put the money aside and got it together and booked the course and booked everything. And then another goal of mine, I used to do modeling when I was in my like 18 to 21 range, and I had kind of given up on it. All my life I had wanted to be an actress and, you know, be a model, and I never had the self-confidence to really follow through on that dream. And it wasn't just about looking pretty in pictures. I wanted to actually be part of art and theater, and I wanted to be on film and be on a film cast and a film crew, and I wanted to know what it was like to you know, be directed and go through the editing process and multiple takes and like sharing emotion and pretending to be someone else to communicate a story. I loved that, and I shied away from it because when I was younger, I was told that that's not an adequate way to make a living, that it's unstable, and that I was too smart for that I was smarter than being an actress or a model. So I brushed it to the side, and I never followed up on that dream. After listening to this book and going through it, I was like, fuck that. I'll do it if I want to. I can make it a hobby. I can see where it goes. And I started modeling again pro bono, and I had great, amazing, cool, creative experiences, and I made my own look boards, and I contacted photographers, and I just had fun with it. And I even followed up with going to a one-day course with a woman to teach me what it would be like getting into the acting scene at this age, how to go to a casting call, how to present myself, what I need to work on. And I followed through with it, and I enjoyed it. And I will never have the regret that I didn't do it. I set the goals, I crushed the goals, I completed the goals, and I felt amazing doing it. And after 13 to 15 years of fearing and telling myself, you're making all the excuses in the world why I shouldn't do those things. And it was the same with starting Krav Maga. All the time I was telling myself, like, I hate being in like classes with other people to learn. It makes me uncomfortable. You know, I'm going to be the rookie. I'm scared of failing. I'm scared of disappointing a teacher. I'm, you know, all of this like like nattering in the back of your head. Jen just tells you to shut the fuck up and go for it. And she organizes this in such an incredible way. The way she writes and the way she talks is to explain to you how you got this way. Talks about your subconscious and your ego, which is BS, the big snooze. And talks to you about self-perception and how that works. Then she moves through how to embrace your inner badass, which is hilarious and incredible. Her chapters are, I know you are, but what am I? How to love yourself, how to get into the person you want to be, then how to tap into the mother lode. What you put out is what you're going to get back, literally using the universe as your bitch. It's incredible. No, don't use the universe as your bitch. Be extremely grateful and humble as shit, but put out what you want to get back and believe that it will show up for you. She is encouraging, she is insightful, she is supportive, but she doesn't let you get away with being a wuss. It's this perfect mix, both her voice as well as her writing, which match incredibly, I must say, both in her audiobook, which she narrates herself, and then how she communicates it in her writing is a beautiful freestyle, like grammatically, fuck you, I'm gonna write how I want to say it. It's strong, it's bold, it's just not your average self-help book. It's a great personal understanding to get rid of the restrictions, to throw out your framework. It's both an understanding of how people really do work and integrated with her stories from her own life, which every child should have from their parents, trying to teach them coping mechanisms and skills on how to be the best person you can be. And she goes over how to get over your own BS already. So fears for suckers and the drama of overwhelm, procrastination, perfection. She talks about gratitude, forgiveness, and she goes through how to like really step up and kick some ass at the end of the book. So for anyone looking to change their lives, anyone looking for encouragement, anyone who needs a cheerleader, anyone who needs support, I recommend this book. It's absolutely just altering. And I still read this. I still listen to it when I'm down and I need a pick-me-up and I need a reminder on how to be a fucking badass in my life. I go see a good mother.